right, we're back. It's been a long time. I've been off working, doing a whole bunch of things, but I've been kind of keeping an eye on the league, keeping an eye. I always say that this is like the quarter pole, the first 20 games in, and we're kind of right around that level. I took some notes actually, and the first time I actually took some, teams looked a little different than they do now. So my overarching theme is that there's a lot of question marks in the league. I mean, just tons of question marks all over. The one solid that I have is Boston. I think Boston is really set and locked and loaded and want to defend their championship. That hasn't been done in many, many years with Boston. Even the great teams of Larry Bird and McHale and Parrish, they didn't do it. So KG, and Paul Pierce, those great teams of the 2000, early 2000s and 2010s, they didn't do it. So I think that this team really wants to get that mission accomplished. And now Porzingis came back early, so I could see that really a lot of motivation there. But you know what? I always say, don't overreact. So the first thing I want to talk about is, like teams like Cleveland. I mean, when they got up to the hot start, I was happy for them. I like Kenny Atkinson. I didn't like that Brooklyn got rid of him. And I love that he was on Golden State. And he brought some of that motion offense to Cleveland and unlocked and really unleashed Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland together, which I thought could work. I always thought could work, but taking them off the ball, moving that ball around, and the team looks really locked in. They're maximizing that talent. So, but I don't know. I don't really get drawn into early streaks because they could be a bit of a misnomer because everything becomes about the streak, and if you have some bad habits, those get washed over because you're winning. And, you see, since then, they've lost twice to a team like Atlanta. So it's going to be a long season. And, we'll see how they hold up. Nothing really is going to be answered about them until you get to the playoffs. So we'll see. But, going back to the theme, question marks. Oh, okay. So now I just want to focus on a couple of teams that just are really perplexing to me. First, Philadelphia. And, when Embiid went to play the Olympics, I was a little puzzled because I thought that he really needed to take the time off because I know he kind of, usually at the end of the season, it's kind of rough for him getting through the playoffs without being injured. So, I was happy for him. He wanted to go with the United States. He wanted to win. He wanted to play. But I don't see how you could do that and not be ready for the start of the season, and the whole perplexing way they handled it, not really telling the public what was going on. I don't understand what's going on in there in Philadelphia. And then Paul George gets hurt. They're in and out of the lineup. All the load falls to Maxey, and then he gets hurt. So it's a lot of back and forth. Thank God for the rookie who's really doing a great job. But I think they might have dug themselves too big of a hole. But as I said, I'm not going to overreact because it's still early in the season. And the East, nobody's really running away with it. You have the two top teams, but everybody else is kind of middle of the road and below. So they do have time to get back into the mix and either get into the play-in or, qualify for one of the top six. But, it's a long road to hoe. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on there. Now, for Milwaukee, I love Giannis. But, this is the team he wanted. He wanted Dame. He wanted Dame on the team. And they had to move Jrue Holiday. So this is the team you wanted. And, the early talk about him wanting out, I don't know if that came from him or his camp. But, this is your bed, and you got to lie in it. And so I like now that they look a little better. Dame is back. I don't know the schedule for Chris Middleton. But if he can get on the floor and if he's healthy, they could take their shot at it. But, I'm not banking on them either. So, we'll see. But from the quarter pole, I like the way they're playing. I like the way that they're getting a little bit better. And, they got a lot to prove. And if I were Giannis, I would be like, this is my team. And we're going to make this work. We're going to make this happen. I got one of the best point guards in the league, and we're going to make this work, and stop looking for the next place to go because, this is your team. You sacrificed a lot for it. Make it happen. So one of the teams I kind of wanted to highlight was Golden State. At the beginning of the season, I didn't think they had a shot to really do anything this year. And I was kind of concerned because, wasting Steph Curry's talent. I was really, really shocked in how they started the season with Kerr employing the 12-man roster and, real strength in numbers. I felt, I didn't understand how it would work, but it just looked great. It really unlocked Buddy Hield and, a lot of their players. Draymond and Steph looked great. Kuminga started looking good, and, a lot of things were going well. But I think it's kind of it may have run its course a little bit. You may have to lock in, and the problem that's emerging is the crunch time, and that happens when the guys don't know who the guys are day to day. You don't know how many minutes you're going to be getting, so we don't know what the closing lineup is. So, of course, you're not going to have the trust amongst the guys that need to close to get the job done. So he may have to shrink that bench a little and, get some of those young guys in, or unless they want to move some of the young guys, but you got to kind of shrink it a little so that the team knows their roles and what they're going for. I know it's great. You want to spell Curry. You don't want to burn him out. But they got to maybe settle with 9 or 10. 12 is just way too much, I think. So, we'll see. And you kind of see, Kerr getting frustrated a little bit. The game against Denver, he was, he got on the refs, and then he got on Brzezinski, and Steph still throwing the ball all over the yard. He's a turnover machine. But he can't really get on Steph. So, this frustration starting to get in. So we'll see. I think they'll make the right adjustments. Draymond didn't play last night, so that had a lot to do with it as well. And then the Spurs are looking good. I like that Chris Paul went there. I thought he was going to try to get to another contending team, but I like that. Don't chase it. You're a great player. Getting a championship is amazing, but I think he's doing so much good there, and they're just starting to scratch the surface of what Wemby can be. You see some of the other young players starting to develop, and I think by the time we get toward the All-Star break, this team will be in a nice set groove. That Chris Paul, I don't know if he's kind of angling for his post-life being a coach, whether he's going to be up under Pop or what's going to happen there. But I like the move, and I like the way they look. There's a lot of other good young teams that I like. Houston, Ime Udoka is doing a great job out there. OKC, I think they're hungry. Once Chet gets back, Hartenstein's a good mix. He and Chet is going to be amazing. I think that team is they got a nice taste of it last year, and I think they really want to, take it to the next level. And then Denver, unbelievably, Joker's having the best year of his career. After winning 3 MVPs, now he's having the best year of his career, but he needs some help. And my namesake has to come to the table more consistently. Jamal Murray, come on, what is going on? I don't know if there's an injury or if there's something that's going on here, but are you just satisfied with the one title? Because if that's the case, this is not going to happen. He has to be that second guy. He has to be that second all-star coming off starting and just making his imprint known, and so that he and Jokic could be that 1-2 punch. And if that happens, I think they have a chance to contend. So, I'm going to get into some of the other teams around the league, like the Lakers. I know they hit a rough patch here. And don't get me started on Bronny. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll get into that a little later. I'm glad to hear Pop's doing better with San Antonio. Hopefully, take his time and hopefully he can get back to the bench. If not this year, seems like his young coach is doing a great job. So, we'll see. But I'll be chiming in a little bit more as we move along. I'm still really confused with this NBA Cup, the whole standings and everything. I like it. The floors are nice. The guys play a little bit more energy, and it's exciting. And one year I'm getting down to Vegas. You know, I just went to Vegas for my niece hosted Thanksgiving down there. But yeah, one year I'm gonna get there and I watch the semifinals and finals. So, you know, I'm excited about that, and yeah, I'll be checking in a little bit from time to time. I see the WNBA started to release their schedule, and excited about that. So, yeah, as we go into the holiday season, you know, Christmas is usually the unofficial start of the season. So, you know, I'll really be chiming in more and more as teams start to really come into focus. Peace.